CEO of Fastcall, and I'm going to talk for a few minutes about our latest release, which is Fastcall 7.0. To start, we're looking at video in Fastcall. This is our Intercall app. It allows every Salesforce user to talk to each other. We will also be adding this intercall capability to Fastcall, but right now I'm actually using intercall for video, which is totally cool, right? So I'm going to minimize this window. Maybe I'll just actually cancel out of this. So this is Intercall. Intercall surfaces all Salesforce users in the org. We have in Fastcall what we called our internal dialer. So Intercall really externalizes that, and we see here we have sort of a similar representation of Fastcall users. We released this as a standalone app, but again, we will pull the capability over to Fastcall as well. Oh, so I see here, this is new. Something's bouncing around here. Got a message from Mark Benioff. That's pretty cool. Well, hey, Mark, is it a C or a K? I never quite remember. Pretty sure it's a C. Hey, so how about that? So that's actually kind of new. So I'm over here on my cell phone and I'm going to text back and we're going to see we have some new notification now. A bunch of stuff. Oh, I never sent that. A bunch of stuff is actually new here, both in SMS and calls. There's some new audio notification, which we don't hear now because we're on the video, but there's a new optional audio indication to tell us that a text has arrived. The search is new, so we can now search for texts. And we can filter. So the filter and the search are both new. So for SMS, we have inbound, unread, and outbound. For calls, we have inbound, outbound, internal, missed, and voicemail. There's a few new settings around voicemail as well. And then, of course, search. So let's actually look at voicemail. So this is new. I can now listen to the voicemail right here. And then there's a new option to say that we've reviewed the voicemail. So if you have a voicemail, we wanted to give you the ability to listen to the voicemail and also say that you've actually listened to the voicemail. So that's a new setting on voicemail, just to say that voicemail was renewed. Um, so the notifications here are new. It's actually, so there we see. So couldn't really hear it. My volume was down a little bit. Let me turn it up. I can probably send another one. Maybe you'll hear it. See if we hear that. Oh, so there it is. So that's new. And you'll see here now we're showing, I think before we had an icon here, but it didn't have a count. So now we have a count here. This pop-up is new. So lots of new ways to show that there is something that needs attention. You can see here's a little guy bouncing up and down. And then those are settings for, we did those as user settings. Let's see here. So we'll go to Fastcall. And settings, and we have those two as user settings. We have more planned. Many parts of the application. We're actually very hard at work on our updating the UI for inbound calls. And there's, I guess, some of this we are seeing now with recent calls and voicemail and search, but we are going to see a lot changing around the UI for active calls, inbound calls, and then we're going to see some more still around SMS. But our settings are here, so I think these are under inbound settings, if I'm not mistaken. There they are. So these are two new settings. Play sound for inbound SMS. You heard it. That's a pretty standard sound. I'm not certain whether it's sort of dependent upon the OS or not, but the user will be able to turn off or on the sound and the notification for SMS. So these are both new, and these are inbound settings for the user. So that's available in Fastcall 7.0. I didn't say it's November 2020. Again, later in November, we have more great improvements planned in this 7.0 release. around is again around inbound calls. I think one other area that we may have updated in this release is the ability to sort a list and dial by list. I haven't really played with that yet, so I know there was an update. I can look through. The release notes will be on our website, so we'll be able to see all the specific updates there. Anyway, so hopefully it was helpful. So I think this is now sortable. There we go. So this is sortable, and it wasn't before. We also even created date, right? Okay, so shoot us a note if you have any follow-up questions. Otherwise, we will see you soon.